Hello everyone, this is Food is a Conversation Alumni Edition, session 73. While I'm waiting for my conversation partner, these sessions are to introduce our alumni network, our ecosystem members who attended any of the educational programs we organized so far, let it be a summer school, the Food Innovation Master Program, or the Food and Climate Shaper bootcamps, what we organize now both format. And I don't think I need to tell you, but we have now more than 200 alumni who are lined up to be interviewed on these sessions. And then this is the 73rd one. Hi. Hi,
Hi,
Dieumie. How are you?
good, thank you. How are you, Julia?
Very good. I just quickly finished the admin things, the intro, and then we can jump right in. So these are very casual conversations, and you will get to know our climate shapers and their stories, their local food systems, and what actions are they taking towards a more sustainable food future. I would like to encourage everyone to ask questions in the chat. If you have any, we will make sure that we can accommodate them. And if you don't have the chance to stay with us the entire time, no problem, because the conversation will be posted on our IGTV and tomorrow also on our dedicated YouTube playlist on the Future Food YouTube channel. So now, without any further ado, let me hand over to my guest. Please introduce yourself. Tell us where you are dialing in from and how did you end up on the digital bootcamp last summer?
Okay, so my name is Diemie Queline. I am dialing in from Johannesburg, South Africa. How I joined the Digital Food Camp is quite a funny story. I joined in during the late application, so I was about a week late, and I had no idea what it was. So my supervisor said to me, Queline, there is a course I think you'd be really interested in. It's on agriculture and it's for free. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, there's a scholarship. I'm like, education for free? Let's do this. So we ended up doing that. I got in touch with Francesca, I believe, and then I had to send through some motivation, some CVs, and then the following Monday was in the program. And I just want
Amazing.
to mention that it was quite funny that I took it on because I had a lot going on at that time. I had recently gotten another job as a reading facilitator, and I was a tutor, and I was doing my research as well. So I had a lot going on, but I'm always up for a challenge. So I really, really was looking forward to it, and it was worth it.
Amazing. Yeah, we were very happy that you could jump on the already running train last July. So how was this digital learning experience for you? What were the main learnings or takeaways or maybe formats or the peers who you studied with? What were the most important elements, what you consider made the bootcamp successful?
Okay, first and foremost, I must elaborate that it was a culture shock for me. Already with us going into COVID and everything happening online, that was already something I had to adapt to. And then there was a lot that I didn't know. Like I remember the interview we had was on, I think it's Calendly. I don't know how it's pronounced.
Calendly, yes.
Yes. So it was my first time seeing that, and I also had to access the interview through that. So that was also new. And then everything was online, the Zoom classes and all of that. I remember the first time we went into a break room. I don't know what that was. I thought there was something wrong with my computer. And then suddenly, a few seconds later, then I'm talking to other people. So that was really good to experience. There were a lot of submissions online. I remember when we started with the hackathon. Um, I don't remember what platform it was, but I didn't even know how to navigate it. I think I asked you for help two times on how to access the information and type. So yeah, it was a huge culture shock, but I learned quite quickly. I remember when we did the hackathon as well. I don't remember the name of the platform again, sorry, but we were
I
all
think it was Miro.
sorry.
It was Miro.
Yes. And then we were all working on the document at the same time. And I'm like, what? Can you do that? I had no idea that everyone could work on one document at once, you know. So I did my own research. Then I saw that on Google Forms as well, on Google Docs, you can all work on something together. So it was really educative. Um, Nonetheless, though, it was, it's large, diverse groups from all walks of the world. I got to speak to lots of people, learn their different cultures and their way of lives. I remember during the global discoveries and the local discoveries, where people would talk about what they are doing in their community whether it's at a large scale or a little scale. So I got to appreciate the work they were doing towards being sustainable. And then there were the classes as well. There was the meditation. I haven't meditated my whole life. Like, I do know about meditation, but I don't personally do it. And I found it to be very helpful because, like I said, I had a lot going on at that time. I was doing a lot of, so it was really, really good. Can I talk about the things we did, like the classes?
Yes, sure.
I also enjoyed how it was mentally stimulating. I remember one of the projects we had to create our own life-centered idea based on an ecosystem toolbox, the ecosystem generation toolbox. And I came up with this idea for reducing food waste through an app that would show you different food deposit centers or places where you can use the food so that it is recycled or given to the needy. Or, like, for example, if your bananas are going off, maybe make a smoothie, or with your strawberries, make jam, or dry your fruits instead of wasting it. So that was really, really nice. And then we got to work together on the hackathon, which was like the biggest event of, I think it was the big, well, for me, it was the biggest event.
It is.
Yes, and then we worked on an app. So I think it was Margarita's idea, and her argument was, in Europe, it's not a problem of food, having access to food, but it's actually a problem of the choices of food that you have.
Mm-hmm.
So then she came up with the idea of creating a link between the consumer and
yes, you are back.
Julia.
Very good. Yes.
Oh, sorry, I couldn't load it.
Yeah, I saw
All
the
right.
same. So one of us was most probably not connected well. So yeah, you were at the hackathon part, and that Margarita was sharing with you that it's a different consumption pattern, and it's the problem that people don't know what are the right choices, and that's when you got cut off.
Yes. So the app we had was called Handy App, and this app would help urban settlers make more food conscious and sustainable choices towards their food. And I remember there were 3 parts. There was one where you do your profiling, you'd give your name, you'd select your eating preferences and all of that, and put your location so that it could help you locate local producers around you. And then there was also the in-store experience where you'd fill in your trolley, and then you can speak to the local producer or the local farmer, and you can give recommendations or maybe ask any questions that you may have and any concerns. And then there was the last part where we had the chatbot on WhatsApp. So that would help you with more life sustainable hacks. For example, you'd be like, these are the ingredients that I have, what can I make? Or what are the more sustainable solutions, like maybe having seaweed or potato leaves and all of that. So indigenous eating, so that it can be sustainable. And then the last option would just help you locate the local producers, the local farmers, and also events around you. So I thought that was really interesting. I'm not sure how far it is now, but I remember when we were presenting our idea, in December 2020, we were supposed to start with the prototyping, the app prototyping, and then just to hit off.
Okay, so see, I didn't hear from any of the team members that they took the project further. Yes.
I would really, really like to follow up on the progress of that. But yeah.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. I think it is something going on with my phone. Please excuse me for that. But basically, on the hackathon, it is a very high-paced environment where you are creating solutions for a food system problem. And as you are coming from different parts of the world, and some of the participants are actually working already on something, these hackathon ideas sometimes are worked on further after the bootcamp, but it can also be that it was a great exercise and the idea actually just stays on the pitch deck what you completed by the end of the bootcamp. So I don't think that your app has been worked on since then, because I think I interviewed almost all of the team members who were working in on the same one. So I haven't heard about that. But maybe you should revisit. If you see some potential in it, maybe you should check in with your fellows. So you are doing development studies, and I wanted to ask, why did you go and took this curriculum, and what are your plans after you complete your studies?
That's also another funny story. I'm just going to go into it very quickly though. I ended up in development studies by mistake. Because I remember I had applied for BCom finance, and the second option was radiography. But then I saw that, you know, you have to know your strengths and weaknesses, and I saw that I was a very theoretical person, so I just took my matric results to the faculty of humanities, and I'm like, these are my results, where is the space? And then they said there's space in development studies. But as time went, I did my PhD and my honors in development studies, and I grew a huge interest. I loved the interactions between people and their environment, and how politics and our actions influence that. And then I did my honors degree, my dissertation in agriculture as well. I looked at how, so there's a Facebook page, it's called Izindaba Zagula. It's run by my supervisor, and it's a forum where farmers in Johannesburg come together and integrate, and they share ideas, they share networking opportunities, they share inputs such as fertilizer, seeds, and all of that. So it's just an integration of farmers who help one another. So I looked at how that Facebook page enabled them entrepreneurial development. And the findings were quite good. So I went an extra mile because I'm so interested in agriculture and food security. For my master's now, I looked at how, so I'm still doing it right now. I'm about to begin my field work. And the title of my research is Popular Participation, Social Media, Food Gardens, and Local Food Retailers. How to create a local, digital, and sustainable food system. That's a long title.
Wow.
Looking at using MSE methods, multi-stakeholder engagement methods, to create such a local food system so that we can apply it in our local communities, and then give advice to practitioners and policymakers on how they can promote such a local food system. And there's numerous benefits for local food system, being it connects your local farmers, the sellers, so that's like a lucrative value chain. Food is sold at a much affordable price for local community members who perhaps wouldn't have jobs or something like that. So it's healthier food at an affordable price. And then it stimulates the local economy because the money stays within the economy. And it may also be a solution to our food problems, you know, so it can be a food relief solution. Because if everyone has their own local food gardens in their backyard, or if they're buying at a cheaper local price from their local markets, and then it's more lucrative. Also, last thing, it also would help with saving energy and waste management. So with your rotten food, instead of throwing it, that can go towards your compost, or the farmer giving the food away for free to needy members, or selling it at a cheaper price instead of food being wasted.
Wow.
Yes, so that is what I'm working on right now. It's very hands-on, it's action research. And then in terms of what I plan to do after this, I'll probably study further. I'm looking towards studying further, perhaps taking a second master's degree in international relations or pursuing the PhD. I'm not too sure yet. Reason being, I feel that we can influence one another, especially because the whole point is to stimulate your thinking. The whole point is to shape your thinking, to shape the mind. And I feel better outreach if you're doing that from an academic institution, which allows you a better outreach to more students. So you shape them from a young age, or you put it in their thinking so that when they go into the world, they can affect that as well. Alternatively, I'm also on the market. I'm looking for a job, and I would like to end up in NGO or something like that, like your UN or Future Food Institute.
Okay, I noted.
Just so just to do about effective change, whether it's in a little way or a big way.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. And I really like this reasoning what you just said with studying further, because indeed you get access to this pool of people who for some reason ended up on the same study path as you do. So you might actually have the same drive or purpose what you would like to follow. And then yes, together and collaborating, you can actually make more action. So your field studies or yeah, field work, what you will start very soon, and the research what you are doing, is that something what you do as an individual, or is that something what you do in a group?
I am doing it as an individual. I am facilitating it. So I'm working with different food gardeners. I'm working with different NGOs. And then I am facilitating the conversations, and I'm also studying them so that I can document it. So then I am doing some research saying if you do this, this would happen. And then I am documenting all of that. So I'm facilitating the interactions amongst all the stakeholders in that specific area which I'm studying. Yes. And then
Amazing.
I have the help of my supervisor, like by my side.
Yes, that helps. So now there was actually one of the speakers on the last boot camp. He's very inspiring. He's one of the speakers who is always mentioned by the students. Yeah, that was a very great class and so insightful and inspiring. Yeah, so great connection. I remember he actually was introduced to us through a global discovery, what was hosted by my fellow student Lise. So the world is somehow so small, and you have all these connections. So your ecosystem map is just growing and growing, and then you can actually make those projects what you are working on now. And tell me, how is the situation at your university? So once you finish your work and you facilitated this change and the stakeholders to act together, does the university has a program how to follow up on this, or how to develop that further, or will that be up to you and the different participants in this project?
Um, I, I won't lie to you. I'm not sure, but I feel like it happens on a very personal scale. If I should with it, for example, with my honors thesis, I followed up with it because I had to report back to my participants that these were the findings and this is what you can do and continue to do. So I feel like, well, like I said, I'm not too sure, but I feel like at the university capacity, it stops there. It will either get published or something. But as to whether what your findings were, is it being followed through? I'm not sure how far that goes, but I feel like you can follow up on it on a personal capacity. But
Yeah,
I think
of
for the
course.
for the slightly higher, there is more work. I will have to ask on that. I will have to inquire on that.
Yeah. So, as a certified climate shaper since last summer, what do you see as your role in your own community?
I have been doing this. Okay, it has been a bit difficult with the COVID and the restrictions and all of that. But I do play a small part. Like we here with my family, like we will cook some food and give it to the needy. And then also I stimulate conversations. Like for example, the other guys that go through the trash cans to fetch recyclable material and all of that. So that is the kind of people that we would give food to. And because he's doing recycling, I'm like, this is the perfect person to stimulate a conversation about sustainability with, because he knows what's going on. There's a reason why he's recycling. He understands that if we do this, then we're acting sustainably. And then you tell them, look, the food I have spinach and tomatoes, which I grew in the backyard. So then he understands that this comes from a local food garden. So we give food away and we stimulate those conversations. I also, with my nephews and nieces, we go around and they pick up papers, and I just need them to understand why you're doing that they shouldn't litter and all of that. Try and help the community. Try and do your part. We also give veggies away to our friends and family members who come here from time to time because we have a big garden. Like I don't have to go to the store, and I eat a lot of veg. So that's a sustainable way of living. So I am quite proud of that. Yes. So we just have
Very
to have
nice.
conversations and make sure that everyone knows that we all have a part to play.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. When you said that you have this own garden where you also grow vegetable, last week actually we had another climate shaper dialing in from Cape Town, and he's the founder of Found Social Good. And on his platform, they are now selling one of the startups. Basically, it's a kit to what they provide you with, and that's a starter kit to start your own organic garden. So the seeds are organic, and you have all the tools. And even if you have just like a small place where you can plant them, it can actually guarantee up to 80 kilo of produce, and that's delicious and nutritious food what you can have at your doorstep basically,
And for
or
free.
on your balcony.
And for
Yeah.
you don't have to go to the supermarket and pay. It's for free.
Yes. Well, you work on it. Exactly. Exactly. So, before we close the conversation, I always have one question I ask from everyone, and that's how do you picture your preferred food future? So, what would you wish for yourself in the future? And you can go utopistic, disregarding all the barriers we have right now, or limitations, but you can also be realistic, of course.
Okay, so my ideal future food. I want everyone to have conversations about food. Like, let us talk about food, sustainable eating, sustainable practices. It doesn't matter where you are or how old you are. I mean, my jaws dropped the last time I heard my 8-year-old nephew say biodegradable. I'm like, where did you learn that term from? Biodegradable. So then he explained, no, it's what goes in the soil and it's good for the soil and it's nutritious and all of that. So let us even have our young people having concepts such as biodegradable, organic, compost. Let our people know that they grow up knowing that I need to be sustainable. I need to put this into my life so that we know that whatever we do has to benefit the future generation. Um,
Oh my God, we cannot hear you for some reason.
about that.
Yes.
And she's like, yes, but before poses and says battery long, just gonna hold the phone closer. Okay, and then I want a situation where there is food security for everyone, especially in Africa and Asia. We have so many cases, literally every day, people are dying. So, no matter your social class, no matter your social status, everyone should have food at their disposal, you know? And then, given my research and the work that I'm doing, I work with a lot of farmers, and it is found that especially the small scale emerging farmers don't have equal opportunities in the food system. So what I would like to see is a system that integrates and accommodates even your small scale farmers. So whether you are a startup farmer or whether you're a big shot farmer or whether you're in the supermarket, let there be equal opportunities. So with that said, I would like an international situation where every and different food entities, whether you're in a small tuck shop or a big industry scale for mass production and all of that, let everyone be accommodated for the food that they do. Let there be policies and the government who supports all the different types of food enterprises. And then lastly, I'd like to see everyone eating healthy. Let us develop healthy habits. Um, I will give you a personal testimony. I was like 30 kgs more than this. I used to have a very, very unhealthy lifestyle. I used to eat a lot of junk from McDonald's to snacks and all of that. But once I cut all of that out and I started eating healthy and a lot of greens, you know, they say your health is your wealth. So let us have healthier eating habits. We have a lot of obesity cases and our food, MOs, and you name everything. So let us just adapt more healthy eating habits. And how do we do this? You can have your own small local food garden, cut out all of the unhealthy eating habits. Just try and stimulate a situation that is healthy for yourself and also for the future in terms of food availability and all of that.
That was an amazing testimonial to close the conversation with. So, Dieumie, thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your experiences and also your plans with us. For the audience, if you joined us a bit later, don't worry because the conversation will be posted on IGTV right now. So you will be able to listen to it from the beginning along with the other 72 conversations we had so far. And this week we make an exception and there won't be another session on Thursday, but we will continue next Tuesday again. Normally we have these conversations twice a week, but until then you have enough time to catch up with the previous sessions and binge watch them over the rest of the week. So Diemie, thank you so much, and follow up with your hackathon team members and see how
Oh,
that project is going, and we stay in touch.
all right. Thank you so much, Julia. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Have a nice evening. Bye.
Bye.